Hey everybody, this is Dark Side Elite here, and I wanted to do this video because I just saw jumped on my social media feeds. It seems that I'm trying to be professional about this, but it seems that J.J. Abrams made a deal with Warner Media to not do Superman, which a lot of us thought, but he's going to be doing Justice League Dark. And what do I think of this? I'm gonna be completely honest until I hear a little bit more information. I don't think he should have touched this. This is Justice League Dark is one of those type of franchises you give to a horror director. You give to someone like James Wan, Guillermo del Toro, oh my God, John Carpenter. Horror directors. You don't give this to someone who does fa- he does fantasy and science fiction. And I understand that Justice League Dark can be that way, but there's horror aspects to this. John Constantine, Zatanna, Dead Man, Swamp Thing. You got a core of heroes there that deal with the macabre and the most sadistic, I mean, the most darkest things that the Justice League doesn't deal with. The more mythical side of the DC universe. And a lot of us wants this. We want to see this on TV or on the big screen, mostly on the big screen because this is a big budgeted. But for J.J. Abrams to touch this, I'm shocked. I'm laughing, and I think this is the wrongest move. I don't think he's the right director for this. I don't care anybody says, "Oh, we should give him a chance." No, look at his past set of movies. He doesn't do horror. He doesn't do horror. He does fantasy and science fiction. There is nothing in Justice League Dark that shows that J.J. Abrams is the right guy for the job here. I'm sorry. I think that John Carpenter could do a really great job. I think that oh my God, Ripley Scott can do it. I mean, even James Cameron. James Cameron could do it. He's done horror before. I mean, he did Terminator 2. He worked on other movies that had a kind of a horror aspect. He's an all-around director. Hell, even Christopher Nolan can do it. But J.J. Abrams is not that director. I just don't see it with his type of genre that he always is in. Um, and how he did this whole thing with Star Wars. Now, I'll give him this. I'll give him this. If he could create a phenomenal script that literally feels like there's no holes, there's no BS, and also it pays much more homage to the characters themselves, then I think we're going to be in for a really good treat. However, he has lost a lot of faith in a lot of people. There's some that are. Here's the thing. There's some people out there who don't care. They just want to see a director do something. They want to just see more DC movies. That's their right. My right is to say I want good movies and I want the right director for the job. And also I want the director to pay homage to these characters. And sometimes it hits and sometimes it doesn't. Zack Snyder is one of those directors that it doesn't hit with a lot of people. He created a divide, but he also brought in more fans and he started a movement more than any other director. So in all retrospect, again, is anybody talking about anything in Marvel right now? Are they talking about Captain America? Are they talking about Iron Man? The reason why I talk about these things is because of Endgame. They're not talking about Phase 1 and Phase 2 movies, but you're still talking about Man of Steel. You're still talking about Batman v Superman. If those movies did not make that big of an impact, you wouldn't be talking about it. It's just, move on. But these movies made an impact, positive or negative. It doesn't matter. But J.J. Abrams has not done that big impact in the business yet. That really cemented. Again, I liked his first Star Trek movie. It was good. It was very very good. I have the movie. I love it. His second one was good, but I called it for what it was. It was another redemption of interpretation of Wrath of Khan. His first Star Wars movie. I mean, it was good. I'll call it for what it is. It's good. But the thing is, it didn't feel anything new. It felt there were things in there that really did not make sense. But I wanted to see how the rest of the franchises went. Last Jedi completely crapped all over everything, and they completely crapped all over the whole saga. It felt like they just rush jobbed everything, and J.J. Abrams is dancing all over the whole thing with all over George Lucas's work. That's how I feel about it. It was terrible. It was a terrible movie. It was a terrible ending to a franchise. Okay, and now this guy's gonna come in and try to do a DC movie. Oh man, I would have again. If you guys want my personal opinion, I put it in the video beforehand. The perfect, if you're gonna give him a franchise, you should have given him Blue Beetle, or you should have given him Ted Cord Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. Those would have been perfectly fine. You give him wholesome movies. That's where he excels. You give him wholesome movies like a Justice Society of America type of movie. That would be up his wheelhouse completely. Just on the basis of how he likes to plop nostalgia all over the place. How the hell can he do that with Justice League Dark? It's a horror aspect. He doesn't do horror he doesn't do horror. He doesn't. So how the hell is he gonna do a really good interpretation of this? Del Toro would have been really good. I named the directors beforehand, and I don't want to go through that list again. I think they should have went to them. In my personal opinion, him touching Justice League Dark is bumfounding. I don't see it. I just don't see it, and I think that this is where we're gonna find out what's gonna happen with the DCEU. This is why we're gonna find. I'm sorry. I'm having a feeling this is not gonna be a part of the DCU. We're gonna find out what's gonna happen with this franchise. Now, people are gonna try to link it to the DCU. This has nothing to do with the DCU. I think they just want to get some movies out, and they're gonna slowly try to figure everything out. But this is gonna be how we're gonna see if he could do it. If WB leaves him alone and lets him do his movie and see what the first product is, and it's really good, then I'll eat my words. I'll be like, nope, movie was actually good. Okay, he's the right guy for the job. But I'll call it as it is. A spade is a spade, and if he can't do a great horror aspect, introducing John Constantine, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, Deadman, all these dark super, basically they're supernatural heroes. They're not grade A to B heroes. They're actually C and D listed heroes, just only on the fact of what they can bring to the table. But on the side of the court of science and magic, they are the top grade heroes. They're A to S league heroes. They're very, 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 very powerful. However, you put them on the grandeur scale, like on the Justice League level, they're C-D listed heroes. They're out of their element here because they got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, 4 Green Lanterns, and the Flash and Cyborg. They got all these heroes. They're useless. They're practically useless. But when it comes to the science fiction, the demons and angels and the dimensional plane of existence, they are the Justice League. They are Justice League level heroes. And that's what a lot of us want to see. But J.J. Abrams touching this, oh my God, this is going to be terrible. In my personal opinion, it's going to be terrible. This is the worst guy to do this type of a franchise. You want a horror director to do it. But we have to see what he does. It seems like this is what's going to be going on. I don't know if it's ironclad, but oh boy. Perfect person, James Gunn. James Gunn will be perfect for Justice League Dark. He could bring in that humor because of John Constantine's snide comments. He can bring in some of that humor that's needed too. And he's done horror. And he did a good job with Guardians of the Galaxy. Just on the aspect of Guardians of the Galaxy, he got down to teamwork and everything else. I'm not talking about just the overlook of the movie. I'm talking about just the aspects of the teamwork and working together as a team. He did it. He did a very good job with it. However, oh my God, James Gunn will be. He wrote horror. He done dark comedies. He's perfect. He's another perfect director for that. Give it to him. But he's doing Suicide Squad, which is actually up his wheelhouse. So J.J. Abrams, how people like call him Jar Jar Abrams, he needs to. Here's the thing. He needs to blow our minds. He needs to completely blow our minds because this tagline of Jar Jar Abrams is going to follow him for the rest of his career if he keeps floundering. And he's in that same echelon as M. Night Shyamalan. Now, M. Night Shyamalan would be great to do a DC movie, but the thing is, I feel exactly how he feels. He says that he just wants to do his own projects and he doesn't want to have oversee. But here's the thing. If DC is doing it where they're letting directors have their creativity, but here, play with this, here's a toolbox of, we'll give him, we'll give him an aspect of DC and say, here, play with this box, give us something cool. And we will not, and none the wiser, and we'll give you $10 million to do this. Very low budget. M. Night can blow our minds with that because he's that creative. You limit down his money, you leave him the hell alone, and you let him do his own thing. Let him tell his version of the story. He will blow our minds. He did it with Dude, listen, I don't care how people felt about Glass. Glass was pretty damn good. But Split is what made everybody want to see Glass. Split is what made everybody want to see Glass. He did a damn good job ending his franchise. And he didn't go off on no weird tangents. He made everything make effing sense. The problem with J.J. Abrams is he can't deliver. He can't. Because everybody wants a piece of that Abrams pie. And he doesn't just say, hey, you know what? I'm going to stick over here. Nah. He doesn't. He just goes, hey, you know what? I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do this. So his mind is separated into 15 different fractures. And it ruins his creativity because he's not centered on the one thing he's supposed to be doing, making this franchise. Now, there's some directors there are some directors who could do it, and there's some who cannot do it. And to me, J.J. Abrams is the one who cannot do it. He needs to stick to one thing and just stick with it. Stop spreading himself apart. But I'm saying M. Night Shyamalan will be great on this side of the project. In my personal opinion, Ava DuVernay, give her freaking Black Lightning or Static. She would excel on that. She's an African-American woman. She's black. She's a black woman. She has a lot of black ideals in her head. She did Selma. Got a lot of acclaim. But I think that she'd be perfect for doing Icon and Rocket. Great. Do Black Lightning. Give us a Static movie. Be great. Be phenomenal. But she's doing the New Gods. I don't even think she's doing the New Gods. I think they're just pivoting her around. I don't think they want her touching it because they want to make sure that they get other things in place first before we have somebody who come in. And I'm not saying she'll do a terrible job. Me personally, I think she will. But I'm saying is that from an aspect, they cannot have someone come in and try to do Darkseid and completely F that villain up. They can't. They cannot afford that. If they ruin one of DC's greatest villains, now they got Joker. Joker's easy to do. Joker is very easy to do, despite what happened in Suicide Squad. Lex Luthor is easy to do, despite how people felt about Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal. It doesn't matter. Those two are very easy to do. And also they can be easily to be fucked up. Sorry for my language. But you cannot screw up Darkseid. You cannot screw up Darkseid. You cannot put him in this weird bubble where he's this when he's not that at all. You could give him a slight interpretation. Like, here's an idea. And this is an idea I've always floated to myself is, One of the things that drives Darkseid is the fact that he wants the Analyze equation. He yearns for it because he wants to corral the universe underneath his thrall. Well, how about Darkseid's not looking for the Analyze equation. He never wants it. He never wanted it. And here's the reasoning why. He has an army at his disposal. Why the hell would he need the Analyze equation? He's conquering galaxies and planets. Why the hell would he need it? Why would he need it? He's proving his strength through absolute force. So he doesn't need it. Make it seem logical. Like, why would he need it? If he has an if you got a king looking for this ancient relic that's supposed to give him absolute power, but he has a whole continent full of a whole continent of an army, why the hell would he need the artifact? Why? Then you introduce the Justice League and you prove that the Justice League can stop him. And over the course, Superman keeps getting in his way. The Justice League keeps getting in his way, up until the point where he realizes he can't beat the Justice League. Okay, fine. Now I'll go back to his original portrayal. Go look for the Analyze equation. If he can force the galaxy under his thrall, he doesn't need an army anymore. That's the point. That still falls in line of Darkseid. He's still the master manipulator. He's still the master planner. He's still an omnipotent being. But you change certain things and say, hey, you know what? How about he doesn't look for an Analyze equation? He doesn't need it. He has a whole gigantic army. He has an army of parademons. He has the female Furies. He doesn't need the Analyze equation. And when they keep talking to him about it, he gives them a look like, I don't need it. But in the back of his mind, he still wants to look for it. But he's going, no. I want to prove it without it. And you can make a whole arcing story about it. Like, why is he not looking for it? You could put in there that he basically you could put in the whole thing about his mother box is connected to the multiverse. So he sees in the multiverse that he will always consistently fail. So why the heck would he look for something if he finds it, he fails? Why? Screw it. Not look for the Analyze equation. But you have him plotting certain aspects, plotting certain things. That's the whole point of why he's the master manipulator, why he's the master planner. He's been planning and plotting everything up to the point where when it's time, he will easily find the Analyze equation and he won't fail. That's his story. That's the arc. It's still going to be everything everybody wants, but it's not going to go into this sequential order that everybody knows it should be. He finds the Analyze equation and he gets defeated. Who wants to see that? That's boring. But if you have him able to walk through a whole army, his whole army beats up other armies. He goes to confronts the Justice League. He beats the Justice League for the first time. He wrecks Superman all up and down the street. That makes us invested in seeing the Justice League surpass him. And you see over the course of Superman's portrayal, and this is something I've been trying to build. You have Superman consistently trying to fight Darkseid. Darkseid doing his thing. Superman's in his way. Superman tries to fight him with everything he ever has, but Darkseid slowly shows that he is still insanely powerful, and he keeps egging Superman on to basically do what he has to do. He wants Superman to kill him, so his essence can flow into Superman, and he will have a whole new body. That's Darkseid's plan. He wants to corrupt Hope. He wants Hope to fail. That's his whole plan. That's why he doesn't look for the Analyze equation. He doesn't want the Guardians. He sure as hell doesn't want Spectre. He sure as hell doesn't want Highfather. He wants no one to know that he is looking for the Analyze equation. He's forcing everybody else to pivot themselves so he can actually get the Analyze equation. That's the plot. That's the whole plot throughout the whole thing about Darkseid. He is not looking for the Analyze equation. He wants the Analyze equation handed to him. So he can go, thank you. And he takes it. That's more enticing to see. I don't want to see something where it's he does this and this and this and that's the end. What? No, I don't want to see that. I want to see a Darkseid that is not easily knocked to the side by Superman. I want to see a Darkseid that when he does an Omega Beam, it completely almost disintegrates Superman to death. He's powerful. He is not a pushover. And I understand, but you also got to realize that slowly it's always going to be apparent. The longer Superman is under the yellow sun, the more powerful he gets. So again, it makes sense. And that's why this whole story, I'm hoping to God that J.J. Abrams is not part of Justice League Dark. He's not the right guy because he doesn't think all those steps ahead. Zack does. Hence why he plotted everything out. He knew what he wanted to tell. When you get people there talking about that, oh, Zack doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He didn't know these characters. How do you know? You never sat down and talked to him. You only got bits and pieces from media who took his words and basically misconstrued it what he was saying. Case in point, the whole thing about him saying that if he ever did a Batman movie, Batman would get raped in prison. That's not what he was saying. He was saying something completely different, and we got what he was truly saying. Go do your research. It's not my job to do that. This is not a journalism. This is honestly not a news reporting. If I was doing more news reporting, I would be putting a little bit more effort into this. This is just my opinion, based on what has already been what has already been stated. It's out there for public consumption. But the media has twisted Zack Snyder's words so many times to the point where Zack doesn't even want to do that many interviews. And I don't blame him. Why? Why would you want to do an interview when someone's going to completely twist your words? That's the reason why Todd Phillips, when he was doing the Joker movie, he and Joaquin Phoenix, they were very, very careful about who they wanted to be interviewed by. WB protected them. They said, no, you're going to come in, you're going to completely bash this movie. No, get out. We don't want you in a part of this. And I applaud WB for that. Protect your directors, protect your stars. These media types want them to cater to them. No, go away. These movies are for public consumption. Let the fans decide. Let the people that we're trying to get in this movie decide. And guess what? The Joker got $1 billion without China, and now it won 4 Golden Globes, and it won Best Actor in a Drama Piece, and now it's getting 11 nominations for the Oscars. This movie is going to break records. DC is going to laugh to the bank because of Joker. Because they did the right thing. Protect their movie. Protect their director. Marvel doesn't do that. Because it's not Taika Waititi's movie. It's Kevin Feige's movie. That's the reason why these movies are not being glorified. They're only being glorified by you. People's choice. Sorry. But that's not big leagues. And that's the reasoning why people are laughing that's why DC fans are laughing at Marvel fans. You want Endgame to win Best Picture? Why? There was nothing in that movie that was so emotionally drawn and emotionally impactful in that movie, other than the fact that Tony died. But here's the thing. It took movies to get to that point. Joker was one movie, and it did that. You understood Arthur Fleck's journey from when trying to be someone that was a part of society to becoming the downfall of Gotham society. He became the Joker. So I don't personally want to hear Marvel fans coming out saying that, oh, Joker should never got that much acclaim. Why? Why should Endgame? You had 20 movies to get to this point. So there was no true impact. You knew it was coming. You knew that Tony was going to die. You knew Captain America was going to walk away. You knew all this stuff. So there was nothing in that movie. Oh yeah, well the same thing said for the Joker. We knew that, but you didn't know how it was going to happen. You knew that there were going to be time travel involved. You knew that all this stuff was going to happen in Endgame. It was all pivoting because of previous movies. Joker, you barely knew anything. You didn't know that he suffered from a mental he suffered from a mental disease that made him laugh because he couldn't express certain levels of emotion. He had to laugh. You didn't know that. You thought he was just laughing because he was laughing. You didn't know that. No one. Todd Phillips never said it. Joaquin Phoenix never said it. Nobody knew in that movie until it was stated, and I'm sorry for there going to be spoilers, but no one knew that Arthur Fleck was never his real name. He was adopted. Actually, he was stolen. His mother, the woman that took care of him all these years, was never his mom. She was clinically insane. She made him believe that his father was Thomas Wayne. All this time. He had a psychotic break. And he kept getting beat up. There's a lot of things in that movie that was never told in the trailers. All we saw was a dissociation of Arthur's character from becoming, a guy down into a sadistic murderer who gave no care. So don't tell me that the movie gave you the answers. I mean, the trailers gave you the answers. You knew how it was going to happen. No, bull. Those trailers never told you anything I just stated. Never. That's why that movie is going to be a contending movie. Endgame is not. You had 20 movies to get everybody prepared, and you had 3 movies, and you got everybody prepared for the death of Tony Stark, the Captain America walking away from his job. You had this whole situation with Hulk. You never knew. People already had this preconception about what was going to happen in this movie. So don't tell me that Endgame was a better movie. It's not. There was nothing in there impactful. Nothing impactful. Because you knew it was coming. But Joker did. It was impactful. Because we didn't see it coming. Until the gigantic revelations. Sorry about that. So I'm going to leave it there. J.J. Abrams, this is a laugh fest. To me, this is a laugh fest. I hope this is a gag. I hope this is a gag. My God, I hope this is a gag. I truly hope in my heart of hearts that this is not true. I hope in my heart of hearts this is not true. I hope that he's not doing Justice League Dark. This is funny. I don't think he's the right director. But if he knocks it out of the park, I will eat my words. I will eat my words. You have my word on that. But you got to be kidding me. All right? Like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Hit the bell. This was a out of nowhere video. I'm sorry. I'm positioning myself to continue playing some Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I'm gonna try to finish the Boo Saga tonight, hopefully. And I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna play it. So let me know how you guys feel about it. How do you feel about J.J. Abrams doing Justice League Dark? Now, TV or movie, it doesn't matter. I think he's the worst thing to do it. I don't think so. I personally don't think so. He does more fantasy and science fiction. He doesn't do horror. We have to see. You guys have a great one. Bye.